West Hills in the San Fernando Valley. Mark Kono in Sky 5 HD over the scene. Mark, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, have a look at this LAPD pursuit of what is believed to be a stolen vehicle here. This black Scion TC with yellow paper plates making their way through West Hills in the West Valley here. And now he's in the mall, southbound through the parking lot here. We just picked this up a couple of minutes ago. Sky 5 HD, of course, first overhead with this breaking news of an LAPD pursuit. Now, the confusion here, or perhaps some speculation, is that this vehicle may have been used in a pursuit a couple of weeks back. No confirmation as of yet, but I can tell you that they have been pursuing this person for the better part of about 10 to 15 minutes at this point. He stops, coming out of the driver's door, and now on foot. LAPD units are very close behind here, very close behind, and they will be able to get a hold of this guy and tackle him and take him to the ground here. Look at that. My goodness. Only one occupant in this vehicle here, and they have taken this guy down very aggressively. We are just outside of the mall here in the west side here. Now we are going to be, I'll give you a couple of cross streets here when I'm able to, but essentially just south of Victory Boulevard here, where they have now taken this guy into custody here. This pursuit is over code 4, and again, a stolen vehicle suspect here. They have been chasing this guy maybe 15, 20 minutes here through the West Valley, through West Hills, and you just saw him as he tried to foot bail in the parking lot of the mall here, and he was just taken down. Guys, that is the update from overhead in 5 HD. Let me send it back down to you in Hollywood.
Boy, thank goodness he was driving very quickly through that parking lot, posing a great danger. Looked like he was trying to get away on a skateboard.
Yeah. We are glad to see that.
Out of South Suburban, we're in the area of Country Club Hills, heading down to Matson. We've got a high-speed pursuit here. The person that they're looking for here in this black Chevy, a stolen vehicle with a window shot out. They've been pursuing this vehicle now for the better part of about 15 minutes. Southbound in the cornfield here, right by Harlem Avenue, heading towards US 30. This pursuit's gone about 40, 50 miles per hour. Several officers are joining in here, so we're about a mile west of I-57. This vehicle is heading southbound. These are side streets, people, with about 20 to 30 mile an hour. Now we're going south on Ridgeland here. And this is a pursuit. They'll be heading towards US 30. So if you are a South Suburban commuter, you normally head near US 30 in Ridgeland, use a lot of caution. This vehicle is picking up speed here. That window is shot out. They're looking for a suspect who stole a vehicle, now heading southbound on Ridgeland Avenue, south US 30.
Okay, Mike.
So, Kai, this is going to keep going.
Mike, we're here. We're watching this with you right now. And so what we're wondering is, when did you first pick this up? What was happening?
Well, the Illinois State Police have a network where they put out basically where they're looking for vehicles that are on the go. Now, about 15 minutes ago, you saw us that accident at Volmer Road. We picked up that they were looking for this vehicle. The Chicago district of the state police found this vehicle, and we picked it up a few minutes later. Now it's traveling about 60, 70 miles per hour southbound on Ridgeland Avenue. It left US 30 a few minutes ago. There were about 5 officers in high-speed pursuit about to hit the intersection of Sauk Trail, and this could get dangerous, narrowly missing an accident there. The vehicle keeps going southbound on Ridgeland. Now, the further south you get in this area, south of Ridgeland Avenue, south of Sauk Trail, this gets wide open, people, and you're going to be dealing with a vehicle that's going to be at a very high speed. The officers now are about a good quarter mile behind them. So we're traveling southbound on Ridgeland Avenue. We just crossed Sauk Trail Road. Yes,
Mike,
I'm listening.
It looks like there's only one person in that vehicle. Can you tell if there's anybody else inside that vehicle?
The way they have described this in the search, there is one person. You can see the driver's side window is actually shot out. One person who stole this vehicle that they're searching for. So from what they've described, and again, this is just from the scanner traffic, what's called the ISPERN, Illinois State Police Emergency Response Network, they've only described one person, the driver, the suspect that they are looking for that stole this vehicle that is now southbound on Ridgeland. We're coming up on another interchange here pretty soon, and I-57 is very, very close to this. We're about a half a mile west 57. So there's a chance that this vehicle could take it to the expressway. They continue, though, south on I-57, well south of Sauk Trail Road. So we're going to be heading down to the Bradley-Bourbonnais area pretty soon.
I know that you're on a really, really close shot there, and you're talking about the police that are behind them. Can we look at a little bit wider shot so that we can get, a better perspective of that? That would be great, and maybe also see what's in front of that vehicle, which it looks like no one, luckily, as he's making this chase.
We don't want to lose the vehicle, and the police, unfortunately, they've been trying to chase this vehicle. It's really picked up speed here, southbound on Ridgeland, heading towards I-57. And as we look out the window, there really aren't any police within about a good half a mile of this vehicle. They're communicating with each other.
How fast do you think that guy's going, Mike?
Based on how fast we're going right now, I would say about 80 to 90 miles an hour. There's another interchange here near the Crete-Moni Road and I-57. He's about to come up. There's a semi in front of this. Again, caution for people who are watching here. This can result in an accident pretty quickly. Now he crosses Crete-Moni Road, try to turn. Oh, and there's the accident. All right, so here's the accident. I believe we're at Crete-Moni Road. The vehicle involved in the accident. Now you've got the person who was in the vehicle. This is the suspect that they were looking for,
and his hands
heading
on his belt
eastbound
there, so we be
towards I-57.
We got to be careful with the camera shot here because, he's taking his sweatshirt off, running through a field. We
trying to get the sweatshirt up.
That car crashed and tried to make the turn there at the intersection. It looked like the one person who was in that car bailed and is now running.
I think you made a really good point, Stefan, here. He keeps on holding on to something right around his waist. We're not sure what that is. And Mike, how far are police from this guy right here?
The police are coming in right now. The police are coming in right now. We don't want to lose the shot of this person, and hopefully now it's into basically you can see a field with a lot of trees. We are near the expressway. We're just west of I-57 here by Crete-Moni Road. We're not sure if this person is injured. Now it looks like he may be exhausted, and the suspect may have been injured, and person on the ground. It looks like the pursuit has come to an end here.
Wow.
Again, we've got state troopers, and we got a lot of folks. This started in the Country Club Hills area and has come to an end here. We're near Crete-Moni Road. We are just west of I-57. This pursuit has come to an end. And again, another dangerous situation. We saw this on the west side last year. No accidents involved, fortunately, and no serious injuries as the arrest is made here on Crete-Moni Road. We are just west of I-57.
Mike, we really appreciate you staying on this. This has been just remarkable to watch happen live here on television. If you could just recap one more time before we go to break here exactly where this started and how it ended here.
Sounds like it started just west of I-57 near Volmer Road. We were covering an accident there, and again, we heard that ISBERN alert that they put out to all of the local officers here to pursue that vehicle. Willow is located about a half a mile west of 57 in Volmer. They said the car was driving erratically. They were looking for a suspect who had stole the vehicle in a black Chevy. They picked up that vehicle driving, and then once that vehicle got south on Ridgeland, hit about 80, 90 miles an hour, heading all the way south from the area of about 183rd, must have gone a good 5 miles down here near the Crete-Moni area, tried to go left to get onto I-57, and fortunately that vehicle involved in an accident, and even though the person's still walking, came very close to getting to I-57, ended here in the field. Police were able to get the suspect in custody. Crete-Moni Road, we are just west of Interstate 57.
That was just an incredible moment there. It was really great to see at the end how he gave up and he got on the ground so police could come in and arrest him.
It looked like they were so far behind. Yeah. The concern was whether or not officers were going to be there close enough to make that arrest. But you can see officers with the Madison Police Department surrounding that wooded area right there, that area of trees, which we saw the person from the car, that black Monte Carlo, trying to make that left turn at the intersection. And what you estimate, Mike, around 80 miles an hour, clearly didn't make it. The car went right off the side of the road and into a ditch.
No, I'm guessing since I-57 was so close, maybe that was the plan. And once that car would have gotten south on I-57, it could have been really dangerous. And again, we saw it try to make that left turn from Ridgeland to go to Crete-Monee, possibly to I-57, and going at that high rate of speed, at least 80, 90 miles an hour, wasn't able to do that. The accident ensued, went into the field, and that's when the person they were chasing decided to get out of that vehicle, run through the field, may have been injured from the accident, and basically just ran out of breath. Fortunately, gave himself up, and nobody else was seriously injured in a situation that could have been very dangerous, not only for the police, but for anybody who was driving in the area.
Well, a lot of misses there also, as we were watching you there in Sky 5, as he was blowing through all of those lights and all of the oncoming traffic. I mean, it's just a miracle that a major accident wasn't caused there.
Peaceful resolution.
Really was, Zarida. We saw, especially when he was coming south towards Sauk Trail Road, there was a semi crossing east and westbound. Wow. Luckily, this is kind of an open area with fields where people can see the traffic coming from the other direction. That semi able to see the vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed southbound, so was able to pull up, and that vehicle and the police able to get through southbound on Ridgeland. And again, ending with the person in custody here, and it looks like no serious injury. Very, very fortunate situation given how a high rate of speed this chase was.
Mike, we are so lucky to have you watching from Sky 5. Thank you so much for that. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor the story, the developments, the backstory to all of this, and bring that to you.
Know that there is at least one person, that being the driver. Unclear if that is a male or female driver. The windows are very tinted. He does have limo tint on that car, so unfortunately I can't really see from this angle whether or not there are any passengers. He's slowing down here a touch. I'm going to pull out to see what he's trying to do. We don't know where this car is registered to, so if in fact he is the owner, we would be able to run the plates and figure out where the car is registered to, and then that might give us an indication as to where he may be trying to get back to. We often see in some of these high-speed pursuits that suspects tend to go back to an area that is familiar to them. The entire time that we've been listening to this pursuit over our scanners, we know that he has been in the Devonshire division of the LAPD. Of course, that is a division that is in the northern part of the San Fernando Valley. And we've never heard him pick up the freeway either. We've only heard him on surface streets. He's on San Fernando Road now. Again, he's slowing down his speeds just a touch, which is good. But unfortunately, the bad part is he's not stopping. And so that's definitely what the LAPD would like to see him do. But as he continues to run red lights here and continues to drive so erratically, driving on the wrong side of the road, it really is creating such a danger for motorists here in the Porter Ranch, Chatsworth area. He's going uphill here a touch. Going to pull the shot out just a touch so we can see where he's at. You can see those railroad tracks just on the right side of your screen. That's San Fernando Road. That is a road that runs through the entire San Fernando Valley. So he's running alongside that right now. That portion of San Fernando Road is just on the east side of the 5 freeway. There are smoking a little bit there. Maybe his car's starting to give out on him. We'll see. And look at that. There is a passenger. We actually can see that there is somebody sitting in the front passenger seat. So that confirms a question that we had earlier. We weren't sure if he had any passengers. Now we know that he does. We know that there is at least one passenger sitting right up front with him. We don't know if there's anyone in the back, again, because those windows are so darkly tinted. We can't take a good look at any of the rear seats, but we were able to take a look at that front seat, and we can tell that there is, in fact, a passenger, as well as, of course, the driver on this pursuit out of the Devonshire division of the LAPD that has now made its way into Sylmar. Okay. Whoa, gosh. It's so dangerous. He keeps running these lights, keeps driving on the wrong side of the road, high speed. That was Glen Oaks that he just passed. He's currently on Polk. Polk is actually a street that will take him up to the 210 freeway if he continues heading in this easterly direction. If he does decide to pick up the freeway, that will be the first time that we do, in fact, see him take the freeway. We've only seen him on surface streets this entire time. Again, we're still working on getting what the WAN is on this vehicle. Straddling that center lane there. He was coming up on a little bit of traffic there on Polk and decided to take that center lane. Oh, wrong side of the road here. Oh. Making a turn here. I believe this is going to be Foothill Boulevard. He's going to pass right under us, so you will see the car go right under us, but we'll get it back for you in a more ideal shot in just a moment. You see it there coming back out and continuing, yes, on Foothill Boulevard. Foothill Boulevard through this stretch of the San Fernando Valley actually runs adjacent to the 210 freeway. Northbound Foothill from us. Oh, he just clipped that car. Oh, gosh. Feel bad for some of the people that are in this guy's ways, because clearly he does not care about anyone but himself. He just hit that car as he was continuing on Foothill Boulevard. Again, he's just under us for a sec. We're going to move the shot. And as you can see, as we move the shot there, we can see that there are, in fact, cruisers directly behind him. And we also see that he just passed over the 210 freeway. So now he's on east of the 210 freeway. Again, a residential area. He has been on the residential area the entire time. This is a slight uphill drive for him, just past Gladstone, continuing on the surface streets here. I'm trying to get it for you. It's either going to be Sayre, possibly Sayre, perhaps Hubbard. I'll get you a better cross in just a sec. I think it's Sayre, as he can. It is in fact Sayre, continuing. Of course, not stopping for any stop signs, not stopping for any red lights. This kind of seems to be a slightly more congested residential area. It seems like there are a lot of cars parked along the street. Notice some pedestrians out and about on this hot Thursday afternoon. Again, not stopping at any of these stop signs. It is really so dangerous. So I really hope that if anyone lives in this area and is listening to our broadcast, just stay inside, because this guy is really just creating havoc on the streets here, just off of the 210 freeway, off of Sayre. That's just east of the 210 freeway. He's not too far from Los Angeles Mission College, but he's actually getting away from that right now. He's starting to make his way a little bit to the north. So in this case, he is running north. So he is running parallel with the 210 freeway, as if he were going to head up towards the Newhall area. So it seemed like that street just came to an end there. So he was forced to take a southbound turn here on Astoria, I believe. Let me get a better shot of it for you here. He's, oh, there we go. He ran over a stop sign. Officers directly behind him. We have a male, white shirt, running. We do know there's a passenger, but we're going to go ahead and stick with that male, the driver, of course, since we don't know if the passenger really knew that this guy was going to be in a pursuit today, but obviously this guy did, because he was the driver. So he is hopping from home to home. He's going to come out right here on the side yard, passing through these vehicles here on the front of this home, continuing running, white shirt, black shorts, black baseball cap. Coming up to this home here, passing that blue truck. He's going to try to leap over this fence right now. There you go. Oh, look at that. He has quite the good balance, actually, as he continues to run away from police here. It looks like he may be running out of steam here. I see him starting to slow down here on the rear of this home. Hopefully these windows and doors are closed and he's not going to be able to get in. And sure enough, it looks like he may have tried to get into that home. The door was closed. He was not able to get in. Pulling up his pants. He forgot his belt today. The cops are definitely going to see him from here. The police airship is going to see that white shirt. That is nice and bright, so they are not going to miss sight of him here. Continuing. Running past this pool. He's definitely slowing down. I know he's tired. He looks tired. He just took a tumble there, fell on that person's flower pot. He's going to try to climb yet over another fence. Again, this is a residential area off of Eldridge, kind of just north of the Los Angeles Mission College. He's going to use this silver dumpster here, to give himself some leverage here so he can climb over this trellis. He was able to hop over, but as you saw in the shot just a few seconds ago, there is a police helicopter right overhead, and he sees him with that bright-colored white shirt. It's going to be difficult for him to hide, in fact, in this area. There's a police helicopter as well. Once again, he's just on the other side of that home. He's going to come out in just a sec. We're going to either see him go into the driveway area, or we're going to see him climb into that other home, but he's definitely in that side yard. That is where we last saw him. That is where the airship sees him as well. And if you can look at the top of the shot, you see that there are, in fact, some police officers right in the backyard for that home. So they're going to start to make their way towards this suspect, and there he goes. He did come out to the front of the house. He's still there. He's straddling those two fences. He's now, again, walking the line on top of the fence here. He sees those officers. They're right next to him. There's no way he doesn't see him. And they, in fact, do see him as well. They may be looking at, oh, there we go. He's on the roof now, on the roof. Decided his only way out was to take a climb onto the roof. He's now on top of this home. There's really nowhere for him to go at this point. The police airship is overhead. They're on the loudspeaker. They're telling this guy to give up, and that would really be the ideal situation. His hands are up, but I don't know that he's necessarily giving up. It actually looks like he's trying to have a friendly conversation with the officers here as he continues to try to get away, but he's kind of got nowhere to go at this point. He's on top of this single-family home here off of Eldridge Avenue. That's not quite the cross, but that is the major running through this area of Sylmar. We do have officers surrounding every side of this home, and we, of course, have the sheriff's, or not the sheriff's, but we have the LAPD helicopter overhead, rather, and, of course, we have News Chopper 4 overhead, and we're going to do our best, of course, to not lose him as well. He continues to gesture towards the officers. He's not quite giving up just yet. He did take off his baseball cap. We did see him raise his hands, but it wasn't really in a, hey, I'm giving up, take me into custody type of gesture. So it does look like he's in a friendly conversation with them. And, of course, he's conversing with them. It's unclear what he's telling them. We, of course, know that the police officers are in all likelihood telling him to just get down, give himself up. But, of course, he ran from the cops for a good little while. We saw him do a lot of crazy maneuvers on surface streets, running a lot of red lights. He did hit other vehicles in the course of that pursuit. He drove on the wrong side of the road, ran a number of stop signs. And of course, we don't know what the original one was on the vehicle as well. Or rather, we don't know what was the original reason that the officers tried to pull this guy over. We do see that the officers are trying to convince him to come down peacefully. And time is really on their side because the suspect really has nowhere to go at this point. And the officers can always call in backup reinforcement. They can call in additional airships, and now there's a hose. So this is an interesting twist. He got a hold of a hose somehow. And he did drink from it. Perhaps maybe that was the agreement he came to with the LAPD. Maybe he said, hey, if you pass me a hose and I can take a quick drink, I'll give up. So we don't know exactly what's going on here, but he did take a sip of that water. I'm guessing he was quite thirsty after running away from the cops, not only on surface streets, but as well as on foot. And now he continues on the top of this roof. We see all of the officers here in the backyard. Oh, and now, okay, I'm going to pull this shot a little wider because just saw something that I think we may not want to show you. And so we're just going to keep a wide shot here. We'll continue to monitor it from afar here. Okay, we're not streaming. Great. Gonna keep a. Let me see. Hey Jack, since we're not streaming, do you want me to zoom in? Okay, 10-4. Okay, so we're going to stay about this wide. I was just in conversation with our assignment desk just to make sure that we weren't showing anything that we didn't want to show you. But we've kind of come to a conclusion that we feel comfortable showing you kind of a medium shot of what the suspect is in fact doing on the roof. There was a point when he did have a garden hose, and that did scare us up here for just a moment. It seems like he has given up on using that, so that is no longer a factor as far as we can tell. A little bit to our northwest from here, as well as Los Angeles Mission College. That's just directly south of us as well. And of course the 210 freeway is just out my left door. I can see it here. The pursuit is and the subsequent standoff is not affecting the freeway whatsoever. I can see that 210 freeway. It is smooth sailing in both directions. But of course, you do have some people that are going to be driving on the freeway, and they're going to see all of the helicopters over the scene, and they may slow their speeds down for just a second. But really no traffic tie-ups, at least on the freeway, that is. We, of course, have been on this the entire time, and the LAPD airship has also been over the entire time. That light that you see there on the roof is actually the night sun coming from the police helicopter. And we also have officers surrounding this home.
For those of you who are just joining us here, this was a chase that started in Anaheim. Anaheim PD pulling over this driver in a possibly stolen car around noon here today. Anaheim PD has since pulled off and handed this over to the CHP. They have an airship overhead as well. We are on the eastbound 91 freeway. One person inside. And as we look at these live pictures here from News Chopper 4 Alpha, we see the Toyota Camry here being pursued by those officers. Very dark tint on these windows, but speeds relatively within the range of first at 60, 65, perhaps 75 miles an hour.
He keeps moving to the right lane there, so I'm wondering if perhaps he's going to try to exit. This is the Washington Street exit, and he's going to do exactly what he did before. Pretended to exit and then just got right back on. And then if he continues on this 215, it will get him up to the 210. And, of course, eventually the 215 comes to an end. It becomes the 15. That's the freeway that will lead us to Vegas. Hopefully, of course, we won't have to go that far. But for now, continuing here on the northbound 215 in Colton.
Yeah, it looks as if CHP has crept up a little bit here in terms of driving. This guy seems to be, you know, again, weaving in and out of traffic, now hugging the that right side of the freeway, which was unlike what we saw on the 91 freeway not too long ago. So perhaps he will try another one of those maneuvers where he attempts to exit the freeway, but then veers right back on.
Yeah, and I think his intention with that is he's trying to trick the police. He thinks if I pretend to exit, they're going to follow me, and then I'll just make this move and get back on the freeway, and then it'll give me some room to get ahead. But he's tried it twice, and it hasn't worked. So we'll see if he tries it again. But he continues traveling here on the northbound 215 at approximately 75 miles an hour. He's now in the San Bernardino area, so he will be coming up to that 210 freeway very soon. So we'll see what he does when he gets there. But if he decides to continue on this 215, he won't be able to take it a lot further because it will become the 15, and eventually it'll go through the Cajon Pass. So we'll see what he does there. He's perhaps exiting here. Let's see.
Well, he's doing that again.
Same thing again.
Well, you know, there's so many vehicles behind him in pursuit now that even if one did follow him, the other three would still be on him. So it seems
3 or 4. I mean, we've seen a number of units there behind him. So this is his third attempt here to play a game of cat and mouse here with the CHP, but it's not working. The driver appeared to be throwing something out of the window. We haven't seen much action from that driver. Windows are up. They are quite tinted, as we see there. Again, so we don't know what may or may not be happening inside. So, again, trying that maneuver yet for a fourth time.
Again.
Yeah, so, but we have a number of CHP right behind, so they are sticking with this driver here as he attempts to trick the CHP off of the freeway.
You know, what we're seeing now with this window rolled down, we can see the driver doesn't even have his hands on the wheel at times. Right now it appears both hands are off the wheel.
Well, that's very unsafe. Yeah, that's not wise.
Especially at these speeds. Now he just put his hand back up on the wheel. But,
and here's to have something.
He threw something else
continue
just
to throw
now.
something out of the car. Carolyn, is it me or is there something on his nose?
Yeah, hard to tell. It looks like he is wearing sunglasses, but it's difficult to tell if there's something as well on his nose.
We appreciate you being with us here this afternoon. And we want to get back to Eliana because it looks as if Eliana, we need a location on this one. And we just saw yet again, I think this is the 5th attempt to get off the freeway, but now remains back on the freeway.
You would want a nice, wide, open street, kind of like the one we have here, with not a lot of traffic and not a lot of cars parked along the side of the road. And then the speeds of the vehicle need to be ideal, about 35 miles an hour. And the other thing, wrong side of the road here, I'm sorry, I have to stop my explanation and talk about this. The wrong side of the road here, that could have been very bad. Northbound here on Columbia, that CHP unit close behind. And red light coming up. That could have been very bad. Every time he runs one of these red lights or runs a stop sign, you run into a situation where you could have cross traffic and potentially have a traffic collision. So whenever I see whenever I see that an intersection is coming up like that, I'll make sure to pull out so that we can see the big picture. But you see this CHP unit close behind. Again, CHP units are all pit equipped. That means they're allowed to perform a pit maneuver if need be. The size of this vehicle is perfect is perfect for a pit maneuver because it is a relatively small vehicle. A CHP unit of this size maybe wouldn't try a pit maneuver on a larger vehicle. Maybe trying it here. Let's see. He tried the pit there, didn't quite work. And trying it one more time, but he's able to wiggle his way out of it. Continuing here on Salmon River Road. UPS truck is going to be in the way, so let's see what happens. Oh, that could have been very bad. That is why the CHP unit didn't try another pit there, because of that UPS truck. They, of course, didn't want to endanger the life of that UPS driver, so they decided not to try a pit there as he was making that corner. Yeah, all units are backing off is what I'm hearing. That means that all units are going into surveillance mode. That means that the ground units are going to get pulled off, and it's going to be a pursuit from the helicopter only. So the reason for that is it just got too dangerous. Now that he's on surface streets, he's driving like a madman. And coming up to a red light here, let's see what happens. Fortunately, the light changed just in time. Continuing here on Main Street with a cross of Stansel Drive. This is in the Riverside area. Your nearest freeways are going to be the 60 and the 215. He's going to have a chance here to get on the 60. Let's see if he takes it. Nope. He went right over his chance to get onto the 60 freeway, so he was not interested. Continuing here on Main Street, crossing Spruce Street, picking up speed about 75 miles an hour. Exiting here, the 60. Exiting the 60 at Etiwanda. And making a turn. Oh, he got lucky. He made that turn just in time before that big rig. Came up behind him. There's a lot of traffic here. Wrong side of the road here. That's why... Oh, wrong side of the road yet again. Oh, this could be really bad. There's a lot of traffic here in the area. Van Buren and Etiwanda are going to be your streets as he comes under the train tracks here. Wrong side of the road. Oh, man. Can you imagine this guy just driving right at you at the speeds that he's traveling on? So dangerous. About 50 miles an hour here on Van Buren. Again, way across of Etiwanda. He's going to come right next to us, but we'll get him here as we make this... As we make this move. Oh, lots of traffic coming up and at very high speeds. Wrong side of the road. This could be very dangerous here. Van Buren and Etiwanda at about 55 miles an hour in the wrong direction. This is probably one of the worst moves that this guy has made so far in the 2 hours that he's been on this chase. Still on the wrong side of the road. And fortunately, other cars are seeing him. They're stopping. They're slowing down because this guy's not stopping for anyone or anything. Continuing on the wrong side of the road, and really no reason for it, because if you see the other side, the side he should be on, it's really not that slow. Hopefully, he'll be able to get back on the right side of the road here coming up. But for now, continuing wrong side of the road, Van Buren and Belgrave Avenue. I think rural was the word that I was looking for. I couldn't find it. It's a little bit more of a rural area in Mira Loma, very close to the freeway if he decided he wanted to get back on. But here we go, wrong side of the road again. Oh gosh. And absolutely no reason for it. There's no traffic up ahead on Harupa Road. He very well could stay on the right side of the road, but he has been, for some reason, crossing over to the wrong side and coming up to another stop sign here. Of course, he's not going to stop there. And continuing here, Harupa Road, and losing a little bit of control there. He hasn't hit a spike strip during the course of this pursuit. The police department did try to pit him. The California Highway Patrol attempted 2 pits, but neither one of them worked. And after that is when the watch commander decided that it was best to go into surveillance mode, which means that no units are going to be directly behind this guy, just the helicopter overhead. And for a time, it seemed like that worked. This guy really did slow his roll, and he even stopped a few times, completely parked. But something just spurred him to continue driving like a madman, and that's basically where we're at right now. Coming up to the slower moving vehicle. This is a one-way road, Harupa Road, near Marlot Road in Marlot Street rather in Mira Loma. So he's going to go past this slower moving car into oncoming traffic, just kind of weaving in and out. I'm just it's seeing this guy, what he's doing, endangering the general public. It's just so frustrating. It really is just so dangerous to see him do that. And the police department already backed off. They said, you know, we don't want to endanger the general public. We're going to back off. We'll just let the helicopter follow this. But this guy simply, he doesn't care. He's continuing on driving very erratically, not necessarily at high speeds right now, but very erratically, running through every stop sign, running every red light. And of course, one of the most dangerous parts was when he was on the wrong side of the road and was traveling at high speeds for someone who was traveling on the wrong side of the road at approximately 55, 60 miles an hour. Back on Etowanda here, or crossing Etowanda rather. Fortunately got that yellow light there. Still on Harupa Road, just past Etowanda. Those are going to be your 2 majors. And let's see what he does here. May just make a U-turn. So it looks like he's going to go back in the direction that he came. He's stopping next to this vehicle. I don't know if he's talking to someone. It looks like he may be talking to someone. It's unclear whether or not this person knows him. I really hope this isn't a situation where he's going to try to hitch a ride with this person. It seems like that person may have just been recording him. And yet makes another turn. So it's unclear what role that person may have played. May have just been a bystander who was, who was aware of the pursuit and was recording from his or her vehicle, or it could potentially be someone that this person knows. But fortunately, it wasn't a situation where this guy hitched a ride with that person. Back with you guys, just communicating with my wonderful pilot, Aldo Bentivenga, who has been keeping us on top of this pursuit the entire time. And we were also communicating with our assignment desk, letting them know our fuel situation. We have about 20 minutes left of fuel, but fortunately, one of the great things about us here at NBC is that we have 2 helicopters. So we have us in News Chopper 4 Alpha, and then we have my partner Gil Avis in News Chopper 4 Bravo. So Gil is actually launching right now in our direction. And when he arrives on scene, we will be able to pull off, and he'll be able to continue our coverage of this now 2-hour long pursuit that is still here on Etowanda, coming under the 60 freeway. I'm sorry, that's not the right vehicle. They look somewhat similar. It's kind of difficult to tell. He's got a very, nondescript black vehicle, black Toyota, so it's sometimes easy to lose him in the crowd. But as I was saying, News Chopper 4 Bravo is on its way, and we'll stay on this, of course, as long as we can. Etiwanda and Mission Boulevard. He's really slow here. I think this guy's got to be running out of fuel. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if his car dies at the intersection. Iberia Street and Etiwanda in Glen Avon is where we have him now. U-turning here. They got him. There we go. I think if Etiwanda and Iberia Street, that's I-B-E-R-I-A, Iberia Street in Glen Avon. Etiwanda and Iberia. So I was just helping to direct one of our ground crews who is here in the area and will be able to bring us some images from the ground when this pursuit comes to an end. So okay, coming up to Etiwanda, wrong side of the road. Oh, there was a spike strip. It did not work, and he just missed being hit by that silver vehicle. Wow. Okay, maybe he's coming to a stop here. And there he goes. He's running. You see him running there just behind this building. Running with all he's got through this parking lot. Coming to the backside now. We're going to bring News Chopper 4 Alpha around so we can get on the other side. Is the address. You see the police ship there. We lost him on the other side of this building. He should be either ran inside or he's hunkered down somewhere on this backside. Blue shirt, black pants. And we're looking for him. The airship's looking for him too. We all saw him run, so we know he's here. But now it's just a matter of finding this guy. We have just enough to try to...
Crime scene, over and over again. Go, go, go. Where are you running from? Last time I'm telling you, go behind the units right now. Right now. If I touch you, you're going to jail. Have you seen this? Have you seen this, Luca? Oh, I'll look at right here. I mean, there's no other station right here. Oh. Okay, boss. Okay. Okay, bye. Bye.
Simon Des, looks like they're going to move the suspect. there a medical? Is there a RA coming down the street for this guy? No? Okay.